that any sin that I have has been nailed to the cross of Christ. Any sin you have has been nailed to the cross of Christ. Therefore, we both stand absolutely dependent upon the one righteousness of Christ. So I have no grounds to hold anything against you, let alone your progenitors who I never met. It is a constant system of endless penance. Now, let me make a real scary application here, because Paul did it. Go on down in chapter 3. It's right here to verse 22. Yeah, I'm going to go there. I got no reason not to. Slaves, in all things obey those who are your masters on earth, not with external service as those who merely please men, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Keep that one there and go down just a few sentences to chapter 4, verse 1. Masters, that's kurioi. Masters, grant to your slaves justice and fairness, knowing that you too have a master in heaven. No, wait a minute now. Because you also have a kurios, a Lord in heaven. Paul, did you just draw that parallel? Paul, come on. Yeah, he did. I want you to think with me for a moment. The radical nature of the unity that exists amongst believers, that is presumed by the apostle here, is that you can have at the same table masters and their slaves at the same Lord's table. And Paul says to the slaves, in all things obey those who are your masters on earth, not with external service as those who merely please men, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Now, there is a little something there if you notice the language. Masters what? On earth. That is your earthly masters. It's literally your fleshly masters. Now, is there not in those words a foundation for undoing the concept of slavery? That it's merely an earthly relationship, a fleshly relationship, that there is a higher relationship that exists in Jesus Christ because these are brothers and sisters with one another? Most definitely. But you simply have to deal with the reality that even though you can virtue signal yourself into an A+ category today by throwing Jonathan Edwards under the bus, by going after Whitfield, you can make yourself just so accepted today by attacking those men. And upon what basis? Upon what basis? There are numerous other passages we could go to. Look at 1 Timothy chapter 6. Peter likewise addresses the reality of the fact that these books are written during a period of time where slavery was an absolute part of the society itself and had been for hundreds of years. And he recognizes that God called people to salvation from every strata of the society and identifies them as brothers and sisters in Christ gathered around the same table. Now, I don't know about you, but it seems obvious to me that recognizing the liberty that we have in Christ would have resulted in masters who themselves would grant justice and liberty to others. But Paul does not identify their position in the society as one that is a position of sin. Oh, but people back during slave periods in the United States quoted the same verses. Yeah, they had the same Bible. That's not an argument. Unless you can provide a meaningful counter-argument that contextualizes things properly and engages in meaningful hermeneutics, that's not a counter-argument. That's just simply an observation where you're trying to poison the well. Deal with the reality of the early church and the apostolic teaching that brought about the supernatural unity of that church.